Hello there guys, welcome to another my live video. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has named a 21-man squad for the trip to the Netherlands for tomorrow's Europa League game away at AZ Alkmaar. Obviously, it is our second game of the Europa League, and this is obviously a particular game where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, will go with the youth, and I think he will also go with some of the experienced players. But I've just watched some of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference and that, and more team news is currently updated. So just to give you the news with regards to Paul Pogba, as confirmed, he will not be playing tomorrow evening against AZ Alkmaar. Obviously, Paul Pogba, has played the last two games. He played the full 90 minutes against Arsenal on Monday. He also played the full 90 minutes in the Carabao Cup against Rochdale. But obviously, actually, Paul Pogba didn't look fully fit on Monday in the game against Arsenal. The reason he's not currently playing Paul Pogba, because obviously, due to the recurrence of his foot injury, he had sustained back in August in the 1-1 draw with Southampton. So it's confirmed, he will be definitely missing this game tomorrow evening. But yeah, Paul Pogba, don't forget, he had to withdraw from the France squad around what was it 3 or 4 weeks ago. Obviously, with the initial ankle injury, he had currently sustained. But quite a few players have not travelled. It's confirmed that Bissaka, he's also not travelled with the rest of the squad. Obviously, he missed the game on Monday against Arsenal due to illness. I think he has got tonsillitis, Bissaka. So hopefully Bissaka, can be back for the game against Newcastle on Sunday. And I think Bissaka, is a big miss for Man United, to be quite honest with you. I think maybe this would be a particular game anyway. He probably wouldn't play even if he was fully fit and that, because he does mainly play in the Premier League as Bissaka. Obviously, the game against Arsenal was the first game he missed in the league this season. But I think he's been one of our most consistent signings, to be quite honest with you, in that his distribution's really, really good. He shows that ability to play out from the back. And don't forget, Bissaka was injured earlier on in the season. He had to withdraw from the England squad earlier on in the season, due to a back injury. And obviously, in that aspect, that prevented, Bissaka, from making his England senior debut. It's also confirmed that Anthony Martial and Luke Shaw have both also, not travelled. Obviously, Anthony Martial has missed the last 5 games for Manchester United with a thigh injury. I think also Solskjaer has confirmed that Martial and Luke Shaw are doubts for the game on Sunday against Newcastle and that. But yeah, Martial has missed the last 5 games in all competitions, and Anthony Martial has been a big miss for Manchester United and that, because you can tell we are lacking in that attacking line, because we have lacked goals so far this season. I think we've only managed 9 goals in the Premier League so far this season, and I think we've only scored 11 in all competitions and that. But yeah, Martial has been a big miss. Obviously, Martial has been a long-serving player with the football club. Now he's into his 5th season as a Manchester United player. And like I did say, I think he is close to regaining full fitness. And I think, if Martial can avoid sustaining any more injuries, and obviously if he can keep the consistency up, I think he can score from at least between 15 to 20 goals this season. We do know that Martial predominantly plays out wide on the left, but it got confirmed at the start of this season. He has been given that number 9 shirt, Anthony Martial, because he seems to be, more effective in that central position. But yeah, he did really, really well in the first 3 games. Obviously, before he sustained this thigh injury, but he has been a big miss. He's still only 23 years of age. And with Luke Shaw, obviously, Solskjaer actually did confirm prior to the game against Arsenal that Luke Shaw had initially, returned back to training. I think Shaw's also missed the last 5 games for Manchester United in all competitions, just like Anthony Martial. And Luke Shaw's also, been very, very, big miss. Obviously, Luke Shaw is our first choice left back. Obviously, with due to Luke Shaw's absence, it has been mainly Ashley Young that's been playing at that left back position, even though Young is predominantly a right back. On a couple of occasions, Rojo has played at that left back position. Don't forget it was Tuan Zebe, that played at left back on Monday against Arsenal. But I think, Luke Shaw is close, to regaining full fitness. But yeah, analysing the majority of Luke Shaw's career, I think he has been mainly consistent. He has had some, rough patches in that. He's had quite a few injuries. injuries. You know, he had a bad spell under Mourinho, but prior to that, I think, you know, he's been very consistent. You know, don't forget, Luke Shaw won the double player of the season last season, reflecting on his impressive performances, and we do know the difference Luke Shaw does make on that left-hand side, you know, when he's at his potential best. But yeah, so he's still out with a hamstring injury. It's confirmed as well that Phil Jones will not be playing in this game. He's also another player that's not travelled. Phil Jones, I think, is out with a knock injury. I think he sustained a knock in the win over Rochdale last week. And I did say, you know, if Phil Jones, you know, wouldn't have been injured, I think this would have been a particular game that Phil Jones, you know, would have been involved in. Because I did say the likes of Jones, Rojo, and all that, you know, these are the games, you know, where they will obviously, you know, get given more opportunities. But it's confirmed Phil Jones, you know, will not be playing in this game. As you all know, Fosu Mensah, he's still out with injury. Obviously, you know, he's been a long-term absence. I think he's been out of injury for quite some time. But Solskjaer had confirmed also that Fosu Mensah has returned back to training and that. Obviously, I think he actually sustained the injury, you know, whilst he was on loan with Fulham last season. Fosu Mensah, sorry. But yeah, I think he's closer to regaining full fitness. And obviously Eric Bailly, of course, is still out with injury. You know, he's out with a knee injury. He sustained the knee injury throughout pre-season, and I think he's out until either the end of December or the new year. He's Eric Bailly. Some good news as well, you know, Diego Dalot and Angel Gomez are both included in the squad. Obviously, Diego Dalot and Angel Gomez both missed the game against Arsenal on Monday, because Solskjaer had confirmed that obviously, you know, they've both been injured. You know, Diego Dalot has only made one appearance for the club so far this season. And that was obviously, you know, the 1-0 victory over FC Mestania. And Angel Gomez, I think, has played a couple of times this season. You know, I think he played in the game against West Ham in the 2-0 defeat. I think he had come on as substitute. But Angel Gomez, you know, obviously, he didn't actually say anywhere he's going to be a big part of the squad this season. Obviously, you know, he's another one of our midfield options. But yeah, you know, we have still got quite a few players out of injury, so obviously in that aspect anywhere, obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to have to make alterations. But, you know, AZ Alkmaar, you know, is going to be you know, a much tougher test. Also, Partizan Belgrade, you know, is going to be a much tougher test than FC Mestania and that. But we do currently sit top of the group at this current present time. But I think it's at the Cars Gene Stadium. You know, that's what their stadium's called. But yeah, we are, like I said at the start of the video, we have named a 21-man squad, and on this video as well I will give you my starting 11 prediction and all that. But like I said, you know, we have got games coming up thick and fast. You know, AZ Alkmaar tomorrow evening, 5 to 6 kickoff. Obviously we go to Newcastle away on Sunday. That's going to be another big game. Then obviously it's an international break, and then after that, you know, we do go to Liverpool at Old Trafford. So obviously, you know, that's our next home game. That's obviously, you know, our next home game. But like I said, you know, we've enjoyed a really difficult start to the season. You know, we've played 7 games so far in the league this season. You know, we've only won 2 out of 7 league games. So we've won 2, we've drawn 3, sorry, and we've lost 2. So in that aspect, you know, we've only registered 9 points, you know, from 7 league games, and we know that's nowhere near good enough, you know, to our standards. And we are now sitting 10th in the league, and that is actually, you know, not good enough. And like I said, you know, if this bad run of form, you know, does continue to persist, you know, I do believe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, will be gone by Christmas, because I think now the vast majority of Manchester United fans are demanding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out of the football club. Also, you know, a lot of industries, you know, I think believe, you know, he will be gone by Christmas and that. But you'll get certain Manchester United fans, you know, like me, you know, that will still back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer all the way. You know, like obviously, you know, Roy Keane had said on Monday Night Football, like I interpreted obviously, you know, some of the stuff that he said and that, and he basically said that, you know, we need to stick with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we need to keep backing him. And I think he did say, you know, we need to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at least a couple of windows, you know, to, you know, see who else, you know, he can recommend in, because obviously it's quite frankly quite obvious, you know, that more investment is definitely, you know, needed in the squad, because you can still quite frankly say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United squad, because this summer has only been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first summer as Manchester United manager. But, you know, it's not good enough, and, you know, we are enjoying our worst start to a Premier League season in 3 decades. You know, we've only won 1 of our last 6 league games, and there's you can pinpoint certain games out this season as well. That Manchester United, should have arguably won. So obviously, we should have definitely won at Southampton away. We should have won, at Wolves away. We should have arguably won at Crystal Palace at home. Reflecting on the amount of chances we had in that game. We had a lot of chances in that game. Obviously, we had a lot. We had a lot of chances. We had the majority of the possession, but we didn't win that game. Arguably, we should have won the game on Monday against Arsenal, because I thought the performance was better against Arsenal. I think it lacked quality to the game. There was quite a lot of chances in the game. I thought there was a lot of endeavour in the second half, but I thought it lacked quality, to be quite honest. But I thought there were some good individual performances on Monday. I thought Pereira played well. I thought Alex Tuanzebe played well. I thought McTominay, played really, really well. He's enjoyed a really, really good starter to this season. But we know that obviously, my point wasn't enough. But obviously the game just indicated out, how far away, Man United and Arsenal are, from mounting any kind of title challenge up. And I think, if both teams, including Man United, both, do continue playing like that, obviously I don't think any of them, will obviously, get that top four. But yeah, like I said, I did say initially at the start of this season that our expectations, this season, will be to finish in that top four. So obviously, we can't get back into the Champions League, because obviously last season, we failed to qualify for the Champions League. And I did say, so far this season, I haven't really seen much improvement, this season than what I saw last season. And what I mean in that aspect is, I haven't really seen much improvements in that, because this season, we're not being clinical enough in front of goal, and obviously that seemed to be a problem last season. And last season, we only managed to score 53 goals in the Premier League, and so far this season in the league, so far we've only managed 9 goals in the Premier League. So we need to be more clinical in front of goal. And like I did say, a lot of things do need to improve at Manchester United. I think we need to be more clinical in front of goal. We need to score more goals. Tactically we need to improve, because we are tactically inept, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics are questionable. Performances definitely need to improve. The results need to improve. We need to improve our record against the top 6 sides. We also need to improve our away form, because we haven't won away from home since the PSG game last season. Don't forget when we did produce that miraculous comeback. That's obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's most iconic moment as manager. Our home form, also, needs to improve. A lot of players, do need to improve. So there's so much, that needs to improve at Manchester United and that. But I did say, due to our inconsistency, I think everyone, needs to take the blame. But I think the vast majority of the blame, does stem from the board. Because, I thought the board, weren't ruthless enough, throughout the course of the summer. But I don't think, they've been ruthless enough in the last, 3 to 4 transfer windows at least. But, the board, for me, didn't back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer enough, throughout the course of the summer. Obviously, they didn't, they didn't recommend all the signings, that I wanted to get in to the football club. And I think, for me, the board are reliability, but I think, the board do need to assure structural changes at the football club. And whether, they do assure these structural changes or not, I do not know. The question is, are the board, going to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the tools and that he needs. I think also some of the blame does stem from Ed Woodward. You can also blame Ed Woodward as well. Some of the blame does stem from him. I think also Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got to take some responsibility. And I think also certain players on that pitch, obviously, have got to take responsibility. So it is a mixture of the blame, but the vast majority of the blame, in my opinion, does stem from the board. But like I said, I want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure, to become successful at Manchester United. Solskjaer, overall so far has been at Manchester United around 10 months. So he's been at the club, just under a year. Obviously, we did recommend Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in December of last year, following the dismissal of Jose Mourinho. And obviously, don't forget, Solskjaer came in as interim manager. He's interim manager at the first. Obviously, he was interim manager for 3 months, and in that 3-month period, the results were good, the performances were good. He was getting the best out of these group of players, and he exceeded expectations. But since he got the job in March, early on this year, everything, of course, has seemed to all gone wrong. But yeah, he needs more time at the football club. Just Solskjaer, like I said, I do credit him in certain aspects. He did recommend 3 good players to the squad, during the summer. Obviously, we got Harry Maguire in, we got Daniel James, and we got Bissaka in. So we spent around I think we spent around nearly £150 million on free play, so it is good in the aspect, that we did address, some of the problematic areas, but we didn't address all the problematic areas. But obviously, it was going to be extremely difficult for us, to address all the problematic areas in one summer transfer window. It was going to be extremely, difficult to do that, because this has only been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first summer as Manchester United manager. But for me, these still areas, where Man United are lacking. I think we need to definitely get at least one midfielder in January, because that midfield area is one of the priority areas, where Manchester United need to strengthen up. Also, we've been in search. We was in search for right winning, for the majority of the summer. But yeah, Solskjaer's already, making plans for the January window. Also, Ed Woodward is making plans for the January window and that. But analysing our recruitment policy, it isn't too good, to be quite honest with you. So Solskjaer, I think, was talking about our recruitment policy, during the summer. But yeah, I think Solskjaer did confirm that he wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British players, like he did do, earlier on in the summer and that. But yeah. So I think we're intending on spending another substantial amount on at least a couple of more players, because I think Man United do need at least three world class players, if we are to get back to where we want to be, and of course if we are to be future title contenders and that. But like I said, I think our aspirations in the next couple of seasons at least, will be to finish in that top four. Will be to finish in that top four and that, because obviously we're not analysing our squad at the moment, it isn't good enough to challenge for the league, or of course win the league. But I did say, with our failure to qualify for the Champions League, I think that was one of the main reasons that went against us during the summer, because obviously when you're not in Champions League football, obviously it's going to be hard to attract players to the elite level and that. And I did say, a lot of players had element of concerns about joining the football club, throughout the course of the summer. But I did say, some of the players, we was in for during the summer, probably more than likely, we will reignite our interest in them in January. Maybe we will leave some until next summer. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has identified four areas, where he would like to strengthen up in his squad. Maybe he would like to recommend a fullback in. Obviously, he wants to bring a midfielder in. Obviously, I think his priority is to recommend a striker in. Basically, obviously, we want to recruit a replacement for Romelu Lukaku. So these still certain areas in the squad, where Manchester United, of course, are lacking. But the majority of this squad, anyway, is not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's. But yeah, despite our bad starts of the season, Manchester United are still backing him, and Ed Woodward is still convinced, that he can turn things around at the football club. But like I said, Solskjaer was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years. He flourished under Alex Ferguson's guidance, and Solskjaer's got that proven pedigree as a player. He hasn't really got that managerial experience to the highest level, so that's another element of concern I have got about him and that. But I think we definitely need to give him more time. But yeah, obviously this game against Alkmaar obviously is a game. Obviously, Manchester United do need to win in that. So now I am going to get on with my starting 11 prediction and that. So yeah, I think he'll probably go with a 4-2-3-1 formation, or if he doesn't, he'll go with a 4-3-3. But I did say on a regular basis this season that probably Solskjaer will go with that 4-2-3-1, even though you've got quite a lot of Manchester United fans, demanding Solskjaer, to go more with a 4-3-3 formation and that. But yeah, so in this game, he'll definitely, go with Sergio Romero in goal. He'll definitely go with Romero in goal. Obviously, Romero played in the Rochdale game and the FC Astana game, obviously, earlier on in the season. Obviously, Romero's got that experience anyway, playing in the cup games, and, Romero is our second choice goalkeeper, so it definitely, will be Romero in goal. Right back, I don't think Ashley Young's travelled. He's not also travelled, with the rest of the Man United squad, so I think he's also out, so he won't be playing in this game. So it probably will be Diego Dalot at right back. It must be, because obviously Bissaka's unavailable. So it must be, Diego Dalot at right back. So I think it will be Diego Dalot at right back. I think the two centre backs, I think definitely Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof, they'll be rested for the game against Newcastle on Sunday. So they'll be playing on Sunday against Newcastle. But I think, will be rested for tomorrow. So I think it will be Alex Tuanzebe and well, obviously, Phil Jones, obviously, can't play in that. So I think, it will be Alex Tuanzebe, and who else, could it be? Probably Alex Tuanzebe. And maybe Marcus Rojo as a centre-back partnership, or actually, it could be someone else. So yeah, so we know that's so probably Alex Tuanzebe and Rojo as a centre-back partnership, and probably maybe Alex Tuanzebe, will play at left-back, maybe Rojo, will play at left-back, something like that. So I'm not too sure, to be quite honest with. Well, we've got how many centre-backs have we got? We've got around 6. We've got, obviously, Harry Maguire, we've got Lindelof, we've got Tuanzebe. Obviously, Eric Bailly's out. He's one of our centre backs. Obviously, Phil Jones is out and that. So it probably, it probably will be Alex Tuanzebe and Marcus Rojo as a centre back partnership. But there again, like I said, Rojo, could play at left back. In the midfield, like I said about that current midfield. McTominay may not play in this game, but he actually could play in this game because McTominay has enjoyed a really, really good start to his Manchester United. Well, he's enjoyed a good start to this season for Manchester United as McTominay. I think in regards to him being a long-term solution for Man United, I have obviously got element of concerns about that, but he has done really, really well so far this season. So I think McTominay, probably not. Maybe involved in this game, but may not play in this game, but could be arrested. Probably Andres Pereira. I think he'll probably get given his opportunity. Will Andres Pereira, like I said, he did really, really well against Arsenal on Monday. So I think he'll definitely play. Pogba will know that he's not playing. Fred, I think Fred probably will get his opportunity in this game. Fred, was being quite impressive recently as Fred. I said, we need to see more of Fred, basically in that. Solskjaer will only go with the youngsters, by the way. I think he'll give a lot of experience, players a chance, like I just mentioned, Rojo will get his chance in that. He'll definitely get his chance, but a lot of the experienced players, will get their chances. But Fred, like I said, I know Fred has mainly enjoyed a difficult time at Man United so far. Obviously, in comparison, to his time at Shakhtar Donetsk. Because analysing him at Shakhtar Donetsk, he was an exceptional player, and he hasn't mainly replicated this at Manchester United. Don't forget, we paid just under £50 million for Fred. But yeah, I think he should be in action, tomorrow evening. Jesse Lingard now, obviously, he's been with the rest of the Manchester United squad. Maybe he actually rested for this game, Jesse Lingard, because, Jesse Lingard has enjoyed a really, really bad start to this season. Like I said, reflecting on his status in that at the football club, he should be, putting much more better performances out, should Lingard. So I haven't been impressed with him this season. He's been, really, really poor. Maybe Matic in this game, could play as well. Don't forget about him, even though he's no longer, first choice. But maybe could still be involved in this game. Mason Greenwood, I think it's been assured, he should start this game, Mason Greenwood. Obviously, I'm surprised he didn't start the game against Arsenal, midweek. Earlier on, at the beginning of the week, sorry, should I say. I'm surprised, he didn't start and that, Mason Greenwood. Because Solskjaer recently gave his overarching view on Mason Greenwood. He did say, if he keeps the consistency up and that, and he keeps scoring, it will be impossible to leave him out of the team. But he has obviously, been assured, more playing time as Mason Greenwood, if he does keep the consistency up. Recently, not too long ago, recovered from tonsillitis. But yeah, he should start this game, because Mason Greenwood, obviously, has scored twice in his last 2 starts. Obviously, he started against FC Astana and Rochdale and scored in both of them games. But he's not yet he's not yet started a game in the Premier League as Mason Greenwood. Definitely, has to start this game. And I didn't actually say, he's a much better option, than Marcus Rashford at the moment. A much better option than Marcus Rashford at this present time anywhere. Because I think by the time Mason Greenwood's 23, 25, I think he can become a world-class centre-forward for Manchester United, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. If I'm going to be quite honest with you. But yeah, very good player. Only 17 years of age and that, and he only made his full debut for the club at the end of last season in the 2-0 home defeat to Cardiff and that. But for me, he's a much better solution than Rashford at this present time. Rashford probably may play in this game, like I said. He didn't look fully fit against Arsenal on Monday. Rashford, and like I said, analysing his performances so far this season, he's been quite poor as Marcus Rashford, to be quite honest with you. I thought he did well throughout pre-season. He did well in the opening game against Chelsea and that, but prior to that, I think he has been a bit below par as Rashford. Obviously, Rashford also, don't forget, missed a penalty earlier on in the season and that. But Rashford, to me, is still a long-term solution for Man United. He is only 21 years of age. Obviously, so far, he has spent the entirety of his career with a football club. He's been a United player, since the age of 7 and that. And he's been in the senior squad with us, since, 2016. But yeah, Rashford's still only 21 years of age. Chong, I think maybe in this game, Chong will also, get given his chance. These are the games where Chong will get more opportunities. And I think quite a lot of Man United fans have got a lot of element of concerns about Chong. I know he's totally comparison to Mason Greenwood is Chong. And I think, quite a few Man United fans, have said maybe we should orchestrate on maybe, loaning some of the young upcoming players out. Because, maybe the vast majority of the young upcoming players, will not become a success at Manchester United. It only may turn out that Mason Greenwood, will be the successful one at the football club. I think also, Alex Tuanzebe, will definitely, become a success as well for Manchester United, in my opinion. I think also, he'll definitely, become a success. Definitely, become a success in that. But yeah, maybe we should, orchestrate on loaning some out. But we have got a lot of young players, that are developing and trying to improve at Manchester United. But there was reports coming out the other week saying that Chon, was in negotiations with a football club, over a new contract and that. Don't forget, he had received loan offers this summer, from PSV and his former club Feyenoord, but he actually turned these loan offers down because he wants to commit his future with Manchester United. Well, he wants to actually stay at the football club, at least for this season. There was also talks as well about Brandon Williams. He's also travelled with the squad, so could he possibly, be involved in the game? I think Brandon Williams is predominantly a left back, isn't he? I've never even heard of him until I saw it on the Manchester United website. So I don't think he'll start the game, but actually, possibly, could be involved in the game. They say Brandon Williams. Also confirmed that Jimmy Garner, I think, has also travelled with the rest of the squad. So do you think Jimmy Garner, could be possibly involved? I don't think, Jimmy Garner has yet played this season. He did actually play quite a few games throughout pre-season, don't forget. But yeah, we've got a hell of a lot of young upcoming players in the squad. But yeah, so that's mainly it, to be quite honest. So there's, my prediction of what players, I think, will play and what players, of course, will be involved. So Rashford, may be involved. I'm not, too sure, but we know for certain that Martial's not going to be playing, Luke Shaw's not going to be playing, Jones is not going to be playing, Young's not going to be playing because Young hasn't travelled, I don't think. Diego Dalot, may play. I think he'll start at right back, Dalot, and I think, probably Rojo, will be at left back. And, Rojo will be at left back, or probably Tuanzebe, will be at left back. Will it be one of them anywhere? But, we will see. But like I said, I'm backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer all the way. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is our fourth permanent manager, since the Alex Ferguson era. And I didn't necessarily say, we haven't got the structure, to keep sacking managers, despite the fact that, obviously, 3 managers have already been sacked, since the Alex Ferguson era. And I hope to say that Solskjaer's got the stature, to get us in that commanding position, where we do want to be. But I have, obviously, got huge doubts about him. But I think Manchester United, just need to give him time. But like I said, reflecting on the amount of money that's been invested into the football club, also reflecting on our history, because we are the most successful team in England historically. We should be in much more of a commanding position, than we're in now. So it is obviously, it is a huge disappointment. Obviously, last season we finished sixth, and I think last season was the lowest we finished, since the David Moyes era. Because back under the David Moyes era, we did finish seventh. But like I did say, as I do keep saying, regardless who our manager is, we're never going to replicate what we did under Ferguson. No one's going to have nowhere near as long. No one's going to have a long tenure like Alex Ferguson did, and no one's going to ever follow Alex Ferguson's legacy, and that's obviously something we have got to accept in that. But like I said, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is to be sacked by the football club, who would you recommend into the football club? Now, we do know there has been a lot of recent talks going on about, Massimiliano Allegri, the former Juventus manager. Now, I did give you my update on my previous video that reportedly Massimiliano Allegri wants to become Manchester United manager to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now, obviously, like I said, Massimiliano Allegri stepped down as Juventus manager, I think, at the end of last season. Obviously, he has got a proven pedigree of winning silverware and that as a manager. We know the majority of his silverware. He had one, obviously, at Juventus. He was at Juventus around 5 years. Was Massimiliano Allegri. Obviously won, I think, around 5 Serie A titles, won other trophies, obviously got Juventus to 2, Champions League finals and that. But do you think he would be the right manager, for Manchester United? But reportedly we have made him as our primary candidate and that, and I think he could come in to replace Solskjaer at some point this season if there's, of course, no improvements. But yeah, there has been a lot of talks about him going on. He's actually never managed in the Premier League. He never actually played in the Premier League as well. So he's basically spent the entirety of his managerial career, in Italy. He also spent the entirety of his playing career in Italy. I think he's learning about the Premier League and that. But yeah, would you like him, to come to Manchester United as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's replacement? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget though, before we actually recommended Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in, don't forget, there was quite a few managers on our agenda. Don't forget, before Solskjaer came in, we actually made Mauricio Pochettino our primary candidate, to replace Jose Mourinho at the time, and that we was in for Pochettino for so long. Obviously, we inquired about getting Zinedine Zidane, but I did say at the time, I think the only way we would have got them in, is if we'd assured any of them a substantial amount to spend in that. Obviously at the time we was in for Pochettino, I did say anyway, Pochettino, didn't have any intentions of leaving Tottenham. He felt happier with Tottenham, and I did initially say anyway that Daniel Levy is a hard negotiator, but Pochettino is, a lot of people I'd think, he took the strappings of the club at Manchester United and that, because obviously he's going on the experience, because he is well Premier League proven. Obviously he's good at developing young players, as he has proven in the years he's been managing Tottenham. But obviously he hasn't won out in terms of silverware, so he hasn't, in that aspect, he hasn't got that proven pedigree of winning many silverware and that. Probably his expectations with Tottenham, obviously, will be able to win some silverware. But yeah, he's into his 6th season at Tottenham. Obviously, before he was at Tottenham, he had a short tenure with Southampton, where he also, did really, really well. But, like I said, at the time we was in for him, it said, we'd have had to pay compensation from between 35 to 40 million pounds and that. And obviously our preference was Solskjaer over him, because obviously Solskjaer was a cheaper solution, and also, Solskjaer, knows the culture and that of the football club. So if Solskjaer was to be sacked, who would you recommend in to the football club? Let me know in the comments below. But I think, the 3 players, we brought in, I think, have done really, really well. Like I said, Daniel James, he's enjoyed a really, really good start to his Manchester United career. He definitely should be playing tomorrow evening. Daniel James, he's supposed to be more effective from that left-hand side, is Daniel James, and that. I've got some element of concerns by him, but I think he's settled in, really, really quick, to be quite honest with you, so being very, very impressive. But yeah, he should be playing tomorrow, should Daniel James and that. But he's fit, he's settled in, really, really well. And Bissaka's done well, Maguire's done well, and I think if they all continue, their, good run of form and that, I think, their valuations, will persistently grow, in my opinion and that. in my opinion, and that. I think, there's definitely more players that do need to leave the football club, despite the fact that a lot of players have already left, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival. So it was good that we did get that we did get that summer clear out, that was demanded. But despite that, I still think, these more players, that do need to leave the football club. And I did say Italy's been a very popular destination for the vast majority of our players that have left this summer. I think around 4 of our players, went to Italy. Obviously, we loaned a couple of players out, and that. Obviously at the end of last season, Valencia left. He served 10 years at Manchester United. Smalling left the football club. Despite the fact that he left, though, Smalling, he obviously, we still got 6 centre-backs in the team despite Smalling leaving. Obviously, we know that he left as well. Matteo Darmian, he went to Italy. He went on a permanent deal though. I think it was a mistake from the football club, getting rid of Ander Herrera. Ander Herrera, was arguably one of our best players, since the Alex Ferguson and Herrera and that. He was one of our best players in that. And I think he had some rough patches in that, he had some bad spells, Herrera, but I think analysing the majority of his Man United career, I thought Herrera, did really, really well. And it was obviously a shame that we didn't recruit a replacement for him, obviously, during the summer and that. But it was even more frustrating that we let Ander Herrera go on a free transfer. We let his contract run down and let him go on a free transfer and that. And, we shouldn't have let him go either way, but I was more annoyed that we let him go on a free transfer. We really should have tried cashing in for him because, we paid just under £30 million for him from Bilbao back in 2014. But, we are known for overpaying for players. And obviously when it comes to letting them go, we're letting them go for next to nothing. We've done it in recent years. Like I said, there's been prime examples of it this summer. So that's not good business from the football club. Fellaini, I'm glad he left in January. Obviously, he went to China. He served 6 years at Manchester United in Marion Fellaini. I was happy with the money we generated from Lukaku's departure. I was very, very happy about that. We got around 70 odd million pounds for him. So basically, you could quite frankly say, we recouped the money that we did pay for him from Everton a couple of years ago and that. And I said that maybe some Man United fans would have been disappointed that Lukaku left, but Lukaku left because obviously, he initially lost his place in the team, and basically Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first choice preference, was Marcus Rashford over Romelu Lukaku, and Lukaku did well analysing his career with Man United. He served 2 years at the football club. He did really, really well in his first season, did Lukaku, but didn't obviously really replicate that in his second season because never really got the chance in his second season, Lukaku, and yeah, we need to definitely recruit a replacement for him. And with Sanchez, he left. I'm glad, Sanchez left the football club because he enjoyed a difficult 18 months with Manchester United. Sanchez, only managed around, 5 goals in 45 games in all competitions and that. And he didn't perform to the standards as we all expected and that. I don't know how he's doing for Inter Milan now because I haven't watched him. He is on loan with Inter Milan, by the way. Despite the fact that he's on loan, I still believe Man United are still paying the majority of his wages. I still believe, we're giving him around 300 grand a week. Or don't forget, Inter Milan are also, paying some of his current wages. I think he's on a 10-month loan deal with Inter Milan. But yeah, I think we are short of options now in that attacking line. Don't forget, we did loan a couple of goalkeepers out. Dean Ensign's back out on loan to Sheffield United for this season. Obviously, don't forget Joel Pereira's out on loan, with Hearts in Scotland for this season. But these still problematic players at the football club. For me, I think Rojo, like I said, in the Europa League games and Cup games, he'll get chances in that. But I think Rojo's a problematic player with the football club. And, this is why, obviously, he was linked to a move away from the club during the summer and that. Obviously, Everton had inquired about getting him on deadline day. Obviously, I think quite a few other teams, were in for Marcus Rojo. But I credit him in the aspect, I think, his versatility in that, is really, really good, is Marcus Rojo's. Like I said, Young, this should be Ashley Young's last season as a Manchester United player as well. Because obviously he's past his sell-by date as Ashley Young. He's now 34. I think he's 35 next year. He obviously, he's predominantly a right back. Obviously, was our first choice right back last season. But obviously, since the arrival of Bissaka, obviously he isn't our first choice right back anymore. Don't forget, Young signed a new 1-year extension last season. And I think, with Phil Jones again, I know he's another problematic player. Jones has been a long-serving player with the club, just like Young. They've both been at the club 8 years, of Jones and Smalling. They're both now into their 9th season as Manchester United players. Phil Jones signed a new long-term contract last season. We shouldn't have give, Jones that new long-term contract last season. But for me, he's another player that does need to be moved on in January or next summer, because we can cash in for Phil Jones and Boho. We can cash in for both players, in January or next summer and that. So we should try and do that. Matic, like I said, he's another problematic player at the football club. Matic definitely, needs to be moved on in January or if not next summer. Obviously, we'll lose him on a free transfer next summer, obviously, because his contract expires at the end of the season. But we do actually, have an option to extend his, contract by a further year. Don't forget about that. Don't forget about that and that. But yeah, these still problematic players of the football club for me. Because Solskjaer did say at the beginning of the summer and that, he wanted to bring at least 5 new additions to the squad. He was looking to build a squad, worthy of the club's mystery. But a hell of a lot of money has been spent into the football club. A lot of money's been invested, on players and that. Like I said, I think around £800 million has been spent in the last 6 or 7 years at Manchester United, obviously in all the managerial eras. So we're not far away, from spending £1 billion. We spent basically just under £1 billion or something like that, and obviously that's not taking into account, what was spent under Alex Ferguson, but actually under the Alex Ferguson era, obviously, he developed a lot of players, but under the Ferguson era, we dominated the majority of the transfer windows and that. Obviously, don't forget Ferguson, didn't win out in his first 4 years at Manchester United. When we recommended him in from Aberdeen, was it, back in 1985? I think it was 1984, sorry, or was it 1985? And that he didn't win out in his first 4 years. But we know back in the old generation, the boards were nowhere near as ruthless as they are now. And obviously, Solskjaer won't get that amount of time, to get everything right at Manchester United. But I think, we need to give him at least until this season, because I think the board did a short at the start of the season. Regardless of what happens this season, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job, should be safe for him at least this season, which is very, very good news, because I think us sacking him, is not going to solve the problems at Manchester United and that. We've got to give him at least a couple of windows, but like it said anyway, Solskjaer is obviously, now, I think we're willing to spend up to £90 million in January, and we have got quite a few players on our agenda in that. Reportedly, Solskjaer's ready to make a double swoop in January for Moussa Dembele from Lyon and Sean Longstaff from Newcastle, and it does reportedly say they will cost the club in the region of around £90 million. Obviously, Moussa Dembele is predominantly a striker, don't forget. I think he's an out-and-out number 9, he's Moussa Dembele. Obviously, we are seeing him as an adequate replacement for Romelu Lukaku. I think we was in for Moussa Dembele during the summer. We was tentatively linked with Moussa Dembele. Like I said, and what I mean in that aspect, he wasn't, one of our main priority targets, but we did inquire about his services. This is only his 2nd season in France with Lyon. I think he did really, really well in his debut season last season with Lyon. Lyon did pay around £20 million for him last summer from Celtic, because he did serve a good couple of years in Scotland with Celtic. Don't forget, he actually, began his senior career with Fulham, when he was younger, and I think he served quite a few years with Fulham and that. Before he was at Fulham, I think he developed at Paris Saint-Germain, but I think he's just recently, only turned 23 years of age. So do you think he would be the right calibre player for Man United? So I think Moussa Dembele, would cost us in the region of around 50 million, and with Sean Longstaff, don't forget, we inquired about getting him, during the summer. Sean Longstaff, I think, was actually, on that list of one of our priority targets. Solskjaer, did want to recommend him in to the football club. But I think Newcastle were reluctant to basically sell him, during the summer and that. Newcastle were playing hardball, they wanted in the region of around £50 million for him. Man United, obviously, were not willing to pay that. But Sean Longstaff is 21 years of age. Obviously, he's predominantly a centre midfielder, so he is mainly a box-to-box midfielder. So them two players will cost Man United £90 million. So if we spend £90 million on them two, it will take our spending in total under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, including what was spent this summer, up to around £240 million, or something like that. But so that's mainly everything. So I just wanted to give you a bit more team news, building up to the game tomorrow evening. So just to confirm to you guys, Paul Pogba's out. Luke Shaw's out, Martial's out, Jones is out, Young's obviously not travelled. Bay's obviously still out. Fossil Mensah is still out. Yeah, and it's confirmed. Solskjaer's confirmed that Shaw and Martial are doubts for the game on Sunday against Newcastle. So obviously, that's more of a bad news. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, like, explore on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.